Problem. My name is Shatima Johnson. I will be going into my 19th year of teaching. I am a special education teacher and I teach mostly most of my career has been at the middle school level, which most people are like, how can you deal with that? But I actually love the middle school. Presently, I do pull out resource, which is more for mathematics, and I'm also an in-class resource teacher, which is an inclusion, model for mathematics as well at the sixth grade level this year. This is my fourth or fifth year doing sixth grade. I would say the first thing is that students are multifaceted, meaning they are a whole human being, and they have strengths and they have needs and, they have feelings, emotions, and things like that. And I think sometimes when you see a student with an IEP, many people get intimidated if they don't have the training to work with those kinds of students. The reality is that they're just like any other student. Yes, they may have some learning differences, they may have some medical differences, they may have some emotional differences. However, they also have strengths. And I think what general ed teachers should know is that these students are no different. They have these things and they can offer them, and you can't stigmatize them based on their IEP or based on their diagnosis. They're more than just that, and they can't be identified as just that student with whatever you fill in the blank with, whatever the classification might be. I also think that general ed teachers should know that the how do I want to say, the strategies that you use for all students can benefit from the strategies that you come up with. You don't have to feel like you have to come up with something just for the special ed student. Students, both diagnosed and undiagnosed, can benefit from the different strategies and the different SEL standards and things like that that you bring into the classroom. So don't feel like you have to do something special for the diagnosed student. Yes, you have to go by the IEP. We all know that it's a legally binding document. However, just know that those strategies can benefit all the students. Each student brings with them strengths that they can bring into the classroom and that can benefit the teacher as well as their peers. They can what they can contribute to the classroom. It can't be like they're not visitors. Just like you said, like they're, when they go into their homeroom or when they, leave out, like they're not visitors. They're just as much a part of the community as everyone else. And I think that when you're not doing like the content area, that's when you can include, because the reality is they're not a part of that classroom when you're teaching math to them or when you're teaching, language arts to them. No, but in those instances where they are a part of, you have to help them to contribute to and to be a part of. Maybe I've seen where my students, I hate to say it that way, but the students that I teach, they follow the same group of students when they're not like in our pull-out classes. And I think that helps because, they start to see the faces, all the time. And again, you have to let them be included in the non-content area things. It can't be where like we're in an assembly and, quote unquote, my students are staying just with me. Like I know that I make a conscious effort, like if there's an assembly and it's in the middle of my class, I make sure that my students go back to their homeroom teacher's classroom because they're not this separate being. They are a part of. It just so happens that they have to come out just for what they need to come out with, can contribute just as much as anyone else.
Awesome.
Well, I do think one thing, and unfortunately, I can't say that I know this from it necessarily being the most positive experience for me. But one thing I can say is that like inclusion is like a marriage. It truly is. But it only works if you're given the time to develop that relationship. That relationship does not come automatically. It doesn't come without its, being able to work things out. And you can't look at it, at least in my opinion, as a us and them. It's a us, it's all of us. And I can contribute just as much as a general education teacher, and a general education teacher can contribute just as much as me as a special educator. Yes, we both have our own experiences and expertise. However, my job is not to do attendance and to, monitor student behavior. Just like, a general education teacher's job is not just to spill out the content and hope that everybody gets it. It's a marriage, and, we have to look at our strengths and what we can bring to the relationship in order to help all of the students in the classroom.